We're back again to cure the chaos in a chaotic world. I'm Drake Travis, and you are watching The High Road. This amazing woman next to me is my wife, Serena Travis.
Well, thank you, honey. And yes, I really think that we will be able to take you away from the chaos in your life. Well, for the next 30 minutes. We have actress and author Erika Eleniak.
Now, she's been in films like E.T., Under Siege, and The Beverly Hillbillies.
Hey, Drake, who or what are you taking on in Cut the Nonsense?
I'm taking on the corruption that is Common Core. Wait till you find out about the origins of Common Core. You'll be shocked. Well, what are you doing with Global Connection?
We're going to be talking about food supply. What would you do if the local grocery store shelves were empty?
Well, time to make friends with a farmer. Well, let's get this one started. I got a fun segment with On the Lighter Side. When four big city surgeons, they're discussing who are the best patients to operate on. The first one's from New York City, and he pipes up, he says, I like accountants. Them on the operating table, you open them up and everything's all numbered. Okay. The second one is a surgeon from Chicago, and he says, I like electricians the best. You know, everything's color-coded inside them. Third surgeon is from LA. He chimes in, you know, librarians are the best. You know, take them up, open, and everything inside them, alphabetical order, it's on shelves. Can anybody read in LA? Finally, the last surgeon is from Washington, D.C. He shut them all up. He observes, you're all wrong. Politicians are the easiest to operate on. Open them up, there's no guts, there's no spine, there's no heart, there's no brains. It couldn't be easier. Hey, here's the first on the show. Be prepared to be shocked. I'm going to give Obama a huge compliment. I mean, you can say a lot about the president, but I have to give him some credit here. The man took office back in 2009, and since then, he has taken a country that was in poor economic condition, a country that was weak and tired of wars, a country that's lost its respect in the international community. And BO has single-handedly reestablished its position as one of the most influential, prosperous, and powerful countries in the world. Now, if he could help the United States the same way he's helped Iran, that's all I want. You know? Okay, and just remember, if you're going to talk foreign policy with an Obama supporter, keep in mind, most of them believe that Iran is what you do right after the robbery. You know, we recently took a poll here on the High Road, and the question was, are there too many illegal aliens in the United States? Here's the results. 22% said yes, 17% said no, 61% said no comprende. I'm just telling you what happened. Let's go meet Erika.
I consider us so fortunate to have our guest here with us today. She's an actress and an author. Now, you may have seen her on films like E.T., Under Siege, and the Beverly Hillbillies. She was also on the long-running TV show Baywatch. Please welcome Erika Eleniak.
Hello.
Hey, Erika, it's so fun to have you here today.
It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Fresh and green and just love it. Erika, you have played so many roles over these years. You've been a busy actress since you were young.
Yes,
so,
10 years old.
10, my goodness.
Yeah.
What would you say is your most heartwarming role?
Oh, heartwarming. Gosh, that's a really interesting question. I know my favorite role, but heartwarming. You know,
we can start with favorite. I mean, that's good.
Okay, I think for me, favorite was Ellie Mae, playing Ellie Mae Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies, for sure. And I grew up watching the series. So I loved the whole family and the craziness of the Clampetts. But I love animals and just Ellie Mae.
So many antics are fun, right?
Super fun. Super. And then, of course, I was attacked by practically every animal on, like, the making of that film. I mean, not literally attacked, but yeah. I mean, it was a very wild filming.
It's like, there's Erika. Go get her.
Get her. There she is. Raccoons, deers. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and just working with the icons that I was, Cloris Leachman, Lily Tomlin, Dabney Coleman, just so many people. It was just an incredible favorite experience, lots of fun. I did a film very recently, actually, called Meant to Be. And this was about, it was a little controversial, and it was really the question about pro-life versus pro-choice, and it was a woman who had an abortion in high school.
Oh boy.
And had carried this with her for years.
Yeah, and the character that you play is
the woman who had the abortion,
woman,
who becomes a social worker and actually meets a young pregnant teen.
Okay.
And so and there's a whole other intersection of the story that is really told through the eyes of a spirit. And Della Reese is in this film.
Oh, wonderful.
It's just amazing. And so that experience was very heartwarming for me.
Oh, okay.
It was telling the story, and it was telling it from both sides, but just how it affects people.
Taking you through the journey of it.
And way beyond what we would even imagine how people are or may be affected. So yeah, so that was really heartwarming.
Wow, that's really powerful. Now, that sounds like such a positive film, but as we know, Hollywood for many years has been putting things out there that have contributed to the moral decay.
I think it's up to us to figure out what we want to focus on, because what we focus on grows bigger, right?
Oh yeah.
So what we put our focus on, and it's funny.
What you look at the longest becomes the strongest.
Absolutely.
In your spirit, in your life.
100%. Yeah. So, you know, I like the balance. I don't want to not know what's going on, and I don't want to be sheltered, and I need to be educated. But I don't need to watch the news 3 times a day.
There you go.
I also don't need to watch things that fill my brain with horror before I go to bed at night, or at all, if I so, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
sure.
for me, I feel like freedom to express, but it is important for me to focus on those things that fill me up and that help me to express the best me that I can. And so that's definitely a personal choice, you know, but it's interesting. The church that I go to Unity Church, and I love our Reverend. And one of the things she says is, you know, we talk so much about what a negative world and a scary place, and you know what? I guess it is if we focus on those things, but there is so much good in the world and such good people on this planet.
Yeah.
If we look for and seek out the good and shine the light there, we're living in a positive, beautiful place.
And in your own home, you have the ability to steward what your children watch, what your grandchildren watch, as well as yourself.
Absolutely.
So those are the things that we have the responsibility to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And finding that focus.
So just before we close this first part of our interview, I just wanted to talk about regrets. Do you have any regrets? If so, how did you get past them?
Yeah. What I strongly believe for me is that I have grown and really become incredibly spiritual because of the trials in my life. So it's hard for me to look at things with regret, because I think to myself, if I was there at that crossroads again, I have no way of knowing if I would still learn as much as I did. It wouldn't be in the same way. So would it be as impactful as it was? I don't know. So I'm also really careful, I feel like, with that word. I know that in my career I can certainly look back at decisions that I made, that had I made different ones, my career might have been somewhere else. But then again, if I didn't let my career do what it did, I wouldn't have found my passion, which is where I am today. And I mean huge. That was a big transition for me.
And we're going to get to hear a lot more about this passion when we come back. And I know Drake has got to do some Cut the Nonsense first, and this is something that every parent needs to hear. Afterwards, Drake is going to join me and Erica as we continue on the high road. Don't go away.
This is a very important Cut the Nonsense for all the parents who entrust their children to the public school system. We must talk about Common Core and the garbage our government is feeding our children. It's pagan, it's twisted, and practically Bolshevik. I think Common Core should be named Hummin' Whore. It's another topic. But within the last 2 years, Common Core has taken effect in your child's education, and I'm urging parents that now is the time to act. Did you know that Common Core is part of America's infiltration by Islam? Here's 3 examples. In Los Angeles high schools, there's a debate among students whether or not the Holocaust was merely a political scheme created later to influence public emotion and to create financial gain for Jews. What's amazing is that the teachers presenting this are the same people who compare a Republican presidential candidate to Adolf Hitler. Do you sense hypocrisy here? In New York, students were required to pledge allegiance to Islam and do so in Arabic. Where's the American flag? The New York public schools are closed twice a year to observe Muslim holy days. In Florida, students were taught world history from an Islamic perspective. And when a parent, a Marine Corps veteran, complained, he was banned from the school. There are many, many, many more examples of this. Christians have been told that ever since the government kicked prayer out of schools, it's a separation of church and state issue. Well, what about Islam? The faith founded by history's greatest mass murderer. Oh, that's mosque and state. Oh, it's different. Okay. Where's the ACLU? Parents in every state are outraged, as they should be. Their children are force-fed Islam. The haplessness of public schools. A report was done, and it was landmark, and it was done in 1972. It revealed that 50% of high school graduates were functionally illiterate. 40 years later, 45 million adults read at the 4th grade level or below. Another 32 million adults can't read at all. 44% of U.S. adults did not read a book last year. Today, 1 in 5 high school graduates cannot read. Common Core, what are their solutions? Give them Islam. Teach sexual activity. Discuss feelings and sharing, like what the communists do. Could it be that the Education Association and the unions, both sold out to the Democrats, don't want Americans to read? Could it be that because literate, functional, productive people think before they vote, while illiterate, indolent, and stoned people vote exactly how they're told? Back to the origins of Common Core. This scheme is a system that's birth and backing comes from Qatar, Libya, and Saudi Arabia. It seems they have a plan for our future. Globally, Common Core originated from the One World Education concept, a global goal orchestrated by the Connect All Schools program, funded by Qatar Foundation International. Now, domestically in North America, Common Core was created by the National Governors Association, the Council of Chief State School Officers, Achieve Incorporated, ACT, and the College Board. The Common Core state standards are copyrighted by the NGA and CCSSO, a private company, which means they can't be changed. Its largest financial contributor and shareholder is the Libya Investment Authority. These programs and teacher training materials were developed by Pearson Education and largely funded by Saudi Arabia. This is who is gaining control of our children's minds. America, wake up. Look at what the government is doing to our children and our culture to drag it off a cliff. Let's all stand up together against this, buy a book, and cut the nonsense.
Welcome back, everybody. My husband, Drake, joins me as we continue talking with actress and author Erika Eleniak. Erika!
Here we are again.
We are here. So tell us about the turning point in your life. I hear that there's this turning point.
Definitely my daughter being born. And I say this literally as well as figuratively. She gave me life, not the other way around.
Wow.
So, you know, people say their lives changed. Mine became realized.
So was there a real
awakened.
dramatic change? When did this, what year was this?
Well,
Not giving it all away here.
Yeah, no, so she was born 2006, so she's
Okay.
10. Yeah.
Oh, precious.
Yeah, so no, for me, you know, I've been a spiritual seeker my whole life, but just everything fit into place when she was born. You know, all the things that I do, all the things that I want to be, and that I'm striving for and that I want to learn, just absolutely everything is for my daughter, and I just feel like my spirituality became extraordinarily bright and strong in me when she was born.
So
I just see things differently.
You've found clarity in that. My mother's a midwife, so
Okay.
I hear you when you say that.
Yeah.
She's helped 30,000 children get born.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
And so you
wonderful.
found clarity with the arrival of your child.
Yeah.
What else do you do to find clarity?
Yeah.
Well, I have a spiritual practice that is very important to me. In fact, don't mess with me if I don't get to have it in the morning. My clarity, literally, I meditate. I meditate and I read spiritual leaders that I love, and I practice the presence of spirit to get clear. And that's it. It is an ongoing practice. It is daily. It is every day. It's 800 times a day. It's once a day. It's 5 o'clock in the morning when the house is dark and quiet, and that's my space. Candles are lit, and I'm in prayer, and that's how I get clear. And then I go
Wow.
about the chaos, you know. And like
Yeah.
life happens.
Yeah,
you
chaos
know?
comes at you. It doesn't ask for permission.
Yeah, no, you make your plans, and then the old, you know, I hate to be cliche, and then life
Yeah.
happens. You know, it's just how do we react or do we respond?
Yeah.
And
So now you're making different choices as you respond to the chaos.
absolutely, and
Yeah.
even not making a choice is making a choice.
Sure.
Then things happen to you. You know, so yeah.
So I hear that. Oh, let's talk about your book. You have one book which is for children.
I do.
What do you do when you lose your Lalabaloo?
That's right.
And Drake, I think, lost his Lalabaloo.
I did.
Oh,
I was looking in my sock drawer. I looked in my tool chest. I looked in the trunk of my car. I couldn't find my law.
So tell us about it.
Right. So what
They're
happens?
laughing at my pain.
Yes, we are.
So, the Lalabaloo, now, and I defy you, you must try to say it without rhyming. It's a limerick-style book, and it's
Okay.
really to help kids know that there is a compass in there, without being too, you know, topic-heavy or just to keep it really light. My idea was I really wanted kids to know how powerful they are. Right
Oh, okay,
now,
yeah.
wherever they are, no matter what their circumstances in life are, because they're all different and they're not always beautiful the way we want them to be, but they always have a spiritual guide. They always have a compass, and the way it's described in the book is the Lalabaloo is the special light that shines inside of you.
Oh, cool.
And that it's always there, it's always a friend to you, and you're never going to be without it, you know, and it's through the choices that we make, and it kind of goes on from there. But
yeah,
it's-
that's great because we want to help our kids make choices early on.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't wait when they're teenagers. I mean, boy, that's a losing
Exactly,
battle.
Yeah.
and that's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
understanding how powerful they are, that they have a voice right now, whether they're 5 or 15 or 105. We always have choices. We have a voice and a lot of power in that.
That's fantastic. Now, and you have a bunch of other projects that keep you busy off screen, I understand. So just
Yeah.
share a couple of those before we close up today.
Yes, my passion right now, I teach acting.
Okay.
And I teach to kids in rehab for substance abuse and behavioral issues, and really acting as a form of finding their voice and understanding exactly what we just talked about, their power. I'm also a student. I'm in school getting my
Isn't it true, though, when you're teaching, you're learning right along with the kids and whomever you're teaching?
Yeah,
Yeah, the teacher
absolutely.
learns it the most.
It's a powerful,
So true.
wonderful place to be. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Erica, for coming onto the high road today. If you want to know more about Erica, follow her on Twitter at Erica Eleniak. Make sure and pick up a copy of her book for the kiddos. It'll be great. We'll be back with a great global connection you will not want to miss.
I'm Melissa Nunnally, and this is Global Connection, where we solve the world's problems in 3 minutes or less. Today, let's chat about food, shall we? Do you have enough food to keep your family safe in the event of a disaster? Maxwell and Serena, how important do you think it is to have control of your personal food supply?
Well, I think it's incredibly important. People don't realize how precarious their food situation is. If something catastrophic does happen, there's only going to be enough food for 3 days.
Wow.
And even if something cataclysmic didn't happen, but just a trucker strike, let's say, the entire country would be out of food within a week.
That is frightening to think about. Now, Serena, is there a solution to this?
Well, first off, people can start learning how to grow their own food. I know, novel thought, right? Because it's one of those things that you can do it, of course you can do it if you live on a farm, but you can even grow food in an urban area. I saw this photo of Switzerland where they were growing gardens just in the city, and it looked beautiful, and it was great for the climate.
And probably a great way to meet your neighbors, too, if you're all sharing that food with one another.
For sure.
Maxwell, your thoughts?
Well, sharing is a great way to share food and also to meet neighbors and whatnot. Did you know, do either of you know, that the Earth can produce over 15 billion pounds of food for people each year? But half of that food is lost, either through pestilence, or it rots in the fields, it rots in the distribution centers, rots on the shelves.
Oh, or rots in our fridges.
Right, true.
Wow, and you know, I think there was something, another thing people can do is share seeds, besides sharing food, and that is to share seeds that they have cultivated themselves, not just things that they could buy from a corporation.
Seeds are a very interesting issue because I think we think it's very easy to garden. I feel like I can handle that, but actually cultivating seeds, that seems to take it to the farming level, which is a whole nother level. But a great way to keep variety of foods, I would imagine.
Yeah, I read somewhere once that there were over 700 varieties of apples in the early 1900s. 700 varieties. Wow. I mean, how many do we see in the grocery store? Five, 10? Maybe, yeah. I mean, at most. I mean, you see, don't we all get so excited when a new variety of apple comes out? Well, technically, that's old news, kind of.
Yeah,
you know? So
definitely if we had those seeds, that we'd keep the variety in our food. And I would love to try those 700 varieties of apples. I love apples, so that would be a fun thing for sure. Well, we want to know what you think. How do you maintain your personal food supply? In some areas, we know it's easier than others, but this may just be an opportunity for you to come together with your neighborhood to chat about the idea. Would love your thoughts. Send us an email to feedback@thehighroadshow.com.
Hey, that Global Connection, that's really going good. You guys are doing a great job with that segment.
Well, thanks, but look at you. Your Cut the Nonsense is shedding light on topics that no one is touching. I think everybody needs to know more about Common Core. Wasn't Erica great?
Oh, hey, guy, the best. Guy, if you have small kids, you really should go out and get her book.
And we'd love to hear from you, too. So please reach out to us and check out our website, thehighroadshow.com.
Hey, we'll see you guys next time as we attempt to take you away from the chaos in the world and hit the high road. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ooh.